Episode 1. Sorry.
I can't. There's not a better way to start. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, across everywhere around this entire planet.
One.
Of us
Sorry.
wonderful sickos, four of us wonderful sickos have gathered today and have decided, you know what? We need a podcast to talk about sports. I am
Oh yeah.
the Mastora, and alongside me, I do have Nickman Nick.
Hello.
I do have Car Sausage,
Hi.
and I have Aiden here. The four of us are going to be doing
Hello
this
everyone.
every Saturday to discuss topics and subjects surrounding around the world and sports, as it is without a doubt one of my most favorite topics to discuss about. We have a very, very, very interesting conversation to start and talk about right off the bat. But before we get into it, we have to hand out an award, and
What is that award?
This award is our sicko nominee, an athlete that has done a noun surrounding in the sports world that has done something so sicko like. It could be anything that has caught your eye, from any ridiculousness. For example, my November sicko of the month was Matt Rule for accepting the head coaching job at Nebraska. That is hilariously sicko of him. So, with that out of the way, I'm going to start with my sicko nominee of the week. My sicko nominee of the week is Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres. This man did the insane thing, something that I don't think we'll ever see again in our lifetime. This man scored 5 goals in one game. 4 of those 5 goals came in the first period. I don't think we'll ever see anybody do that. It is such a it's a sight that was like just scoring 4 goals. That is something that we haven't seen since the early 1920s, I think. It's been a long time since someone has ever done something. It is an incredible accomplishment. Congratulations to Tage Thompson. You are a grown man. That is my sicko nominee of the week. So who wants to go next? Who's the next person? Who is your sicko nominee? Who wants to go next?
I'm gonna go with a sport that everyone in the entire world watches. I'm sure everyone knows about the World Cup. And in terms of sickos, I'm gonna have to go with Morocco.
Ooh. Now tell us, what did Morocco do?
So yeah, I'm sure y'all were expecting certain countries to reach the semifinals of the World Cup. I'm sure none of y'all were expecting Morocco, especially because they were facing Portugal. Now, who does Portugal have? Well, I mean, there's guys like Joao Felix and Bruno Fernandes, but most importantly, Portugal has Cristiano Ronaldo, widely regarded as one of the greatest goals in history. After that team, well, they lost. They lost to a certain team named Morocco, a small country in the north of Africa, which isn't exactly a footballing power. In doing so, Morocco became the first African country to reach the World Cup semifinals. That in itself is an accomplishment. And taking down a power of the sport in a way, that's some sicko energy in there.
Ooh. That's huge. Because the fact that just hearing the stat that they're the the first African team to make it to the semifinals is quite the accomplishment. FIFA's been around since the 1930s, is it? 1930s?
Yeah, the first World Cup was in the 1930s. You are correct.
Wow, first African team. Huge congratulations to the country of Morocco. I hope the citizens party all night long. So next, who wants to do, who's their sicko nominee? Who wants to do their sicko nominee of the week?
I'll do it.
You
All
go.
right,
I'll
Spencer,
go.
who's your sicko nominee of the week?
Well, personally, my sicko nominee of the week probably has to be Baker Mayfield, quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. This man got cut by the Carolina Panthers, on Sunday, got picked up by the Rams Tuesday night, had 2 days to prep for a Thursday night football game against the Raiders. It took 20 practice snaps, and then this motherfucker leads a comeback from a 16-3 deficit, including an amazing 98-yard drive that ends with a beautiful fucking touchdown to Van Jefferson with 15 seconds left in the game. Compare that to fucking Deshaun Watson, who had all the time in the world and had god-awful stats, Just, what an amazing fucking folk hero story. Like, you could put that shit in a movie, and that is why he's sicko of the week for me, because, that's not a dog in him. At that point, that's a fucking wolf. I mean, a frickin' wolf.
Yeah. Okay. So much for the PG rules.
I'm trying to keep it PG.
Okay.
We
Sorry,
threw that out the window.
Sorry, Baker Mayfield just drags it out of me.
Woo!
That's the power of sickos.
That
like
is
sicko.
the sicko energy. All right, Nick Man, who is
Okay,
your
I'm a
sicko nominee of the week?
bit disappointed because Baker Mayfield was the one I was about to do.
Hey, we can
Oh.
agree.
Can
We
you
can agree on stuff.
You know what? I mean, there's another guy I have in mind, but unlike the other three, it's not for a positive reason.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Hell.
Nice.
Ooh.
Go of the week, the most hated man in the Bay Area, John Heyman.
Boo.
Now,
Boo.
literally, you are literally handling the biggest story in baseball right now. What's gonna happen with Aaron Judge? Where's he gonna go? Nobody knows yet because it's people like you that they are relying on to give the fans the information. So, what happens? Well, Heyman, he decided to jump the gun and tweet out that Aaron Judge, sounds like Arson Judge was on his way to signing with San Francisco Giants. Immediately after, has to correct himself because he realized, yeah, I kind of screwed up. He hasn't made up his mind yet. So, yeah, and anyone that knows baseball, knows what happened the very next day because Aaron Judge would re-sign with the Yankees, and John Heyman instantly becomes the most hated man in the Bay Area. Congratulations, John, on being my sicko of the week.
I just can't imagine just being the guy who the only trusted source that I will ever trust baseball is Jeff Passimian. Like, whatever he says, he's like the Ian Rappaport. He's always very reliable. I don't know very many members of media that would report on teams insiders for baseball. Like, I know there's Shannon Drayer. She does the Seattle Mariners. She's the insider for the Mariners. But other than that, it's about it. So I only trust if Jeff Passimian would say something about it, but no, he clearly didn't. And Aaron Judge did have that 63 home run season, became a free agent. So any baseball team would be nipping at the heel to sign the man. And to, not wait until the official word on the street is, it felt so much of, I have to be the first man to report it. You jumped instead of waiting for it to actually be confirmed, you completely ruined it. And now Giants fans who are, without a doubt, totally who relied on this information, got completely bamboozled. They got McCockenered. They got fucking McCockenered.
As a Giants fan, I can attest that this is true.
They got. It was like Barry McCockener impersonating as Jeff Passimian, and it went spreaded rampantly across the socials of the space. But yeah, so let us know who your sicko of the week is, and do let us know. Without a doubt, we're gonna try to do a new sicko every week. We got some amazing nominees for this week, but do let us know who your sicko of the week is, and we would love to know down in the comments below.
By the way, just want to shout out some comments. Jake, thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up here. The New York sports fans, always great to see him. And also shout out Apizzle90. Also great to see him here. I'm glad you saw the tweet I promoted in the other Discord server. Thank you all for stopping by to see this glorious Sickos Fest.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss it. We streamed live every Saturday night, starting
Thank you.
Hopefully 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, and it'll always be left on my channel unedited for anybody to watch at another time. Okay, now,
and for anybody watching for me, that's 10:30 Eastern. I just figured I'd throw that one out there.
So the last item on the agenda, I usually would want to save this for last, but however, I do think once we finish my welcome mat, I think that's something we're just gonna be talking about just the rest of the day. We still have 5 weeks of football left, and which means we need to do 5 weeks of pick'ems. So here's how this is gonna work. We are going to pick 2 marquee games. We're on top of that. We're gonna pick 1 upset and 2 wild cards. So we have a total of 5 picks that we're going to predict of who wins this week for the NFL. And I think the marquee games this week, I believe, are Baltimore and Pittsburgh, as hilarious as that is. You got a backup quarterback. You got Lamar Jackson, who's unlikely to play, versus the resurging Stallers. And then we have... Let's do Dolphins and Chargers. And then you need to pick 1 upset and then 2 wild cards, so they can be anything. Could even be an upset.
I'd like to pick one of the wild cards.
We're gonna start with one of the marquee games. So we got Stallers and the Ravens. Round table. Nick, man, start us off. Who do you like?
considering how this team has played in Pittsburgh in over the past couple of years, considering the fact that Greg Roman is clearly clueless without Lamar Jackson, gotta go with the Steelers right now. They got the momentum, especially at home.
Very nice, very nice. Aiden.
I like to say the same. I'm going to Steelers mostly because Lamar's injury has impacted the Ravens a lot. The Ravens recently have been struggling to close out games, and the last game they weren't able to get much going on offense. And the Steelers, they aren't quite a perfect team, but they're playing at home, as Nick Man said, and their defense is starting to round out to form, and Pickett's been looking solid as of late. So I'm gonna give this to the Steelers as well. Steelers gonna Super Bowl, but they're gonna have to buy tickets. They'll still win this one.
All right, Spencer.
I'm gonna be different. Fuck, screw it. As good as the Steelers defense is, especially with T.J. Watt and Deontay Johnson in the game, I just think that Tyler Huntley is the better quarterback versus Kenny Pickett, and even though there isn't much in the way of weapons on the Ravens offense, I still have to believe in the Ravens defense because they can really exhaust an offense and really force a defense out there.
So you're going with the Ravens. All right. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. Lamar being just injured is one thing, but the one thing the Ravens don't have, they've got good receivers. They don't have that elite top 10 wide receiver on that team at all. And that's something that they really need. Pittsburgh, I feel, if the one thing that Pittsburgh is going to rather struggle with, it's going to be the run. It's going to be very, very difficult to stop Najee Harris, who could have had his career breakout moment last week. But one thing is to note that Najee Harris has struggled. I think Pittsburgh can probably be, if Pittsburgh is efficient, they'll just be enough to win. It's going to be a very close game, but the Ravens without Lamar Jackson is going to be a really rough game. Really rough game to watch on all fronts. I think it's going to be like a really ugly 16-13 Steelers win. And I do mean ugly. All right,
Yeah,
next.
we're talking ugly with a capital U.
Ooh, ugly. All right, next we got the Dolphins and the Chargers. Dolphins and Chargers. In SoFi Stadium.
Finally, a good game for Sunday night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But the LA Chargers have been terrible at home this year. They have been horrible. The LA Chargers, they're so much better on the road than they are at home. One of their games, they got shut out by Jacksonville. Jacksonville!
Yeah.
They let the struggling Seahawks completely dismantle that team on their own turf. They lost to Josh McDaniels. This team cannot play at home for the life of them. They can't. They struggle so much at home.
I should note the Josh McDaniels loss was in Vegas, but yeah, it's still the same thing applies. They're not good at home.
They're not. This game is going to be over before it even begins. I mean, the Dolphins should be able to easily win this. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. They spent so much money on defense, but yet they still can't get it done.
Okay, do you want me to go next? So,
Yeah.
I think, okay, knowing knowing how the Chargers can be on these kind of games, like I can definitely see them making it an entertaining game because even though Justin Herbert is definitely getting held back, the man knows how to still make an entertaining game. However, the difference between being entertaining and actually getting clutch wins in prime time, and unfortunately for the Chargers, Brandon Staley is your head coach, which obviously means I'm going with the Dolphins because I'm not stupid.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'm gonna go next because my team faced the Dolphins last week. So I thought for the Dolphins versus the Chargers, I'm just gonna have to say this: Dolphins win. No, nothing else needs to be said. As mentioned earlier, the Chargers are pretty bad at home. How are you bad at SoFi Stadium? Yeah, I get it. It's primarily the Rams Stadium, but you're bad at your own home. I bet you played better when you were playing in a soccer stadium. But yeah, Chargers have been quite a big disappointment, and the Dolphins. I'm gonna be honest. Even as a supporter of a team whose defense clamped down on the Dolphins' offense, they gave me a scare a lot of times. I mean, say what you want about Tua, but when he makes those throws, good things happen. And the shout out to my former 49er assistant coach and now Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel. He's been great on the offensive side of things, and the defense is not that bad. So I'm gonna have to go with Dolphins. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I'm afraid I'm gonna also have to go for the Dolphins. Obviously the Chargers have some kind of an issue where they just can't. Whether it's because they pissed God off or something else, they just can't hold on to a lead or they get smacked around. As is the Chargers' way, it very much reminds me of the Mike Zimmer Vikings of old. How they would always just choke like no, there was no tomorrow. Not to mention that Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill is a deadly connection, no matter where you go, and really, just honestly, the one of the few teams I'd be scared to take on in the Super Bowl is probably the Miami Dolphins. So I'm gonna have to say the Chargers because this smells like a trap game.
Very, very fair.
I like the way you think.
Very interesting. All right, we also
Bold.
our next picks. It has to be an upset. They have to actually beat them, not just make sure they don't cover the spread. So they have to actually beat them. So if you need the upsets, if you need I'm looking for a money line. The current money line. I'm probably just gonna go with ESPN. Okay. Upset. I'm gonna take the Jets to upset the Bills. Right now, the Buffalo's favored to win by 10 points. By the way, that's not even the highest. That's not even the highest spread right now. I'm gonna go with the Jets to beat the Bills. One, the coin. But two, Josh Allen he's been good, but not elite. He's playing like a B plus quarterback right now. Something with his mechanics is clearly off. We do know that there's that he's currently barely avoiding what's it? It's something in his elbow. Tell me, is it like
UCL tear?
UCL tear. He barely avoided it. He's playing through that right now. You got Sauce Gardner who's gonna be locking stuff down. The Jets don't have They don't have Zach Wilson playing quarterback. It's Mike White. Mike White is pretty good. This is the Bills team also without Von Miller. They're injured on the defensive side. This game, how the heck are the Bills favored to win by 10 for starters is mind-blowing. I get it that it's in Buffalo. But I like the Jets here. I think the Jets they got a lot to prove. They're fighting for a playoff spot. They know what's at stake, and they know how important it is to win this game. So I'm going to take the Jets and the New York Jets in an upset. Who wants the next upset?
Oh, sorry.
Who has the next upset?
I'm honestly gonna have to go with the same thing. Jets versus Bills. That's the one matchup I've been looking at ever since we talked about like looking for an upset. And yes, the Bills have Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is one of the elite quarterbacks of the league. But yeah, we haven't really seen elite Josh Allen in recent weeks. Meanwhile, the Jets, I gotta say, they look increasingly complete, and they're a team that has severe upset potential. Sauce could make Allen's life a living hell, and they don't have Zach Wilson anymore at quarterback, so their offense isn't going to be as erratic. Still not going to be an elite offense, but it's going to be enough to upset the Bills, or at the very least, make that 10 point bet on the Bills look foolish. So yeah, gotta go the same thing. Jets upset Bills.
All right, who's gonna have the next upset?
I'll go next. I do not have the Jets upsetting the Bills because Bills Mafia is very loud and Orchard Park is a very tough place to play. What I do have is I have the Jaguars upsetting the Titans. I think that Trevor Lawrence finally has a good flow to him, and he finally is starting to figure out how to win games as a team, and they're finally starting to work together, sort of healing after the Urban Meyer season. Well, meanwhile, it kind of seems like the Titans are falling apart, and they really don't have much in the way of any dimension other than Derrick Henry. So the fact that the Titans are favored by 9, it kind of baffles me,
They're right now favored 3.5.
3.5.
Oh, I'm looking at 538.com.
Oh.
Or I'm looking at ESPN.
Sorry.
That's okay. ESPN has them at 5.5. ESPN has them at 3.5. Still is an upset. But yeah. Alright.
Okay. Alright, so there is a certain team we wanted to go with. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure Vegas was well aware that so many people could see this has upset written all over it. The Vegas odds makers decided to make the Detroit Lions favorite against the Vikings.
I think that's absolute
No.
bullshit because the goddamn Vikings are 10-2 for a reason. They're better than they are 10-2 for a goddamn reason.
It says on ESPN, Lions, Detroit, minus 2.5. It literally says that shit.
What the hell?
What the heck?
Gonna get the respect that they deserve.
What the heck?
The Lions are on a rebound, but fuck, Kirk Cousins, T.J. Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. How the hell are you gonna stop this defense? Especially now that Christian Darrisaw is out of concussion protocol, and we have Cameron Dantzler back at cornerback, which is a huge addition because he was a shutdown corner up until he got put on IR. And we've been finding ways to win without the talent is the crazy thing. So why the fuck are the Lions being favored? Oh my god!
And this is where we get and you see, this is where the salt comes into play. See, if anyone who didn't think there was gonna be salt in this show, you are delusional. Yeah.
Sorry
Okay,
about
so
that.
it's okay. So I have to think of something else, and there's two games come to mind. One of them is uh, features a great head coach with an incompetent offensive staff, along with a talented quarterback who's coached by an absolute buffoon. And unfortunately, as much as I'd like to have any sort of belief that the Cardinals upset the Patriots, unfortunately, history tells me that that will not happen. So, there's another game that comes to my mind, and it's not Jets Bills because I just think Buffalo's going to be too good for. I mean, I think the Jets would upset the spread, but I want to go with an actual like upset I can see happening. So, well, this one feels like I'm making a deal with the devil. At times when you make these predictions, you gotta go with tradition. As tradition tells us, Cleveland Browns own the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh, what's the? It is Cincinnati 5.5.
Yeah.
I hate to go with this because I don't want to have to agree that Deshaun Watson might win another game. But terms of just picking an upset, and I hate to do this because I would love to see Cincinnati win this game, obviously, and it's really kind of tough to do this in terms of momentum considering the Bengals just beat the Chiefs while the Browns had trouble beating the Texans. It's just I gotta figure something out, so gotta go tradition here. Browns over Bengals.
Ooh, some good upsets. Let me just get 2 wild card. It could be anything. It could be anything. Just it can't be the games we picked beforehand. You're gonna hate me for this, Spencer. I'm gonna pick Detroit. One of my picks is Detroit. They're at home to begin with. They're playing meaningful football step by step by step. Dan Campbell has the Detroit Lions going in the right direction. Easily, they're going in the right direction under Dan Campbell. Jared Goff, the better Jared Goff plays, could be their quarterback. They've got their offense is ready to go. Jamal Williams, he's been completely amazing. 14 touchdowns on the year. They also have their first round wide receiver. Hopefully he can start making impact soon. This game's going to be really, really close. And just the one weakness of the Vikings. If there were to be any game that they just completely slaughter anybody, especially a division rival, this is the game that they do it. I would hope that the Vikings would if they slaughter the Lions, that should shut up some people. Not all the people, some people, but I like the way Detroit's playing right now. Detroit's been playing great football. I like the Lions. They will struggle against a defensive-minded head coach, a very defensive, philosophical coach. You know, I saw Justin Fields. This is Justin Fields before he blossomed into the phenomenal quarterback he's been. I have to take the Lions here. I have to take the Lions, so I'm gonna go with the Lions with one of my picks.
You know what? That's completely understandable because you know you're just pointing out how good the Lions are. Just it just kind of seems like I'm kind of sick and tired of all these pundits saying the Vikings aren't shit. Like Kirk Cousins, fuck off. Kevin O'Connell's team Kevin O'Connell has this team firing at all cylinders in a way Mike Zimmer most certainly did not. You know, it's like shit. We probably are fucking like goddamn 4-8 with Mike Zimmer instead of 10-2. I will agree that this is going to be one hell of a game because it's two offenses going absolutely nuts, and it's a shame that this isn't being broadcast anywhere outside of the upper Midwest, you know, because this is going to be a fucking air show for the ages. Maybe even on par with that 2018 Kansas City Chiefs LA Rams game. But I got to go for the homer pick. I got to go for the Vikings on this one because they're my home team. I want them to win a Super Bowl, please.
As good as any other reason. Good as any other. Alright, Nick Man, who's one of your picks?
Okay, so this section is basically just like, so I just want to clarify, is this section just basically like just teams you think are just teams like regardless of spread you just think are gonna win?
Yeah,
just
flat out win. No spread.
Okay.
Who's gonna win?
Okay, well, now, okay, this is one I'm doing a competitive one because I do love the job that this coaching staff has done with this team. I think I feel like especially compared to how this team had been for maybe the last 5 years, they have done an incredible job with this team, especially with all the injuries they are facing. However, I note the injuries because injuries, as we all know, are cursed, and injuries. Put bluntly, injuries are a bitch, and that's why, unfortunately, as much as I do like this coaching staff, I just think the Eagles are just going to be way too powerful for the Giants this Sunday. You know, Eagles, before last week had definitely kind of been struggling just a bit. It wasn't anything like concerning, but there was definitely you could definitely tell that the level of play from Philadelphia Eagles had definitely taken a step down those last couple of weeks until they played the Titans, and AJ Brown got his revenge on the Titans, so much so that the Titans had to fire their GM because of how embarrassed they were by it. So yeah, I just think, unfortunately, just because of how injured the Giants are, especially given how like Saquon's questionable, I just gotta go with the Eagles.
Alright, Aiden, who's one of your picks?
Alright, I'm gonna go for a homer pick here. And you know what? I am going to be roasted by a lot, especially by those who, you know, who believe the old narrative that, oh, he's the GOAT. But you know what? I think I'm kind of biased because I'm gonna be watching this live, but I think the Niners are gonna demolish the Buccaneers. Not just defeat, demolish.
Purdy. Sorry.
All right, so listen up. So here's my reasoning. Number one, I'm biased. Number two, you know, a lot of people have been doubting Brock Purdy. They're saying, "Oh, Mr. Irrelevant. Oh, he's gonna be exposed." Well, let me tell you something. To succeed as a quarterback of the 49ers, to succeed as a quarterback of the 49ers, all you have to do is, you know, not mess up. Our offensive line is one of the best in the league. Our offensive weapons, you know, Deebo Samuel, CMC, George Kittle, who's stopping them? As long as the quarterback, you know, doesn't mess up, and I think Brock Purdy's done a good job in the previous game against the Dolphins. And here's another factor. The Buccaneers defense has been apart from injuries, they just have not looked like a good defense. And I can tell that because, you know, in one of my fantasy leagues, they got the Buccaneers defense, and they've been, you know, underwhelming. And while you may say, "Oh, but Brady's gonna, you know, upset the, gonna do Brady magic again." Here's the thing: can Brady do this when, you know, the 49ers defensive line is on his face? Can Brady do this when he knows that, you got Fred Warner and Talanoa Hufanga patrolling the area, like where all his short to mid range passes are gonna be? Think about it. Niners win. Totally not biased. Yes, very biased. But Niners win over the Buccaneers. Sorry, Goat, but you're gonna lose when I watch you live tomorrow.
Go
Good
Clones.
as good as any other. Right, for my last wildcard pick, I'm gonna pick Tom Brady because he's just gonna remind us that you know what, we need to eat Arby's. He's so great, guys. He's so great at throwing the ball 10 yards, and his wide receivers just doing all the work. Man, he will just will the opposing team to going out of bounds when they should really just be diving, for the first down. He's going to will their tight ends to drop a beautiful dimes from the amazing, gorgeous-looking quarterback, Red Rifle. No offense to people who are against guns. Sorry about that. No offense to them. He could just will it all. He's gonna say, you know what, Brock Purdy, you're gonna be more like Brock Pudding. Boom, roasted. Cause that's right. I'm Tom Brady, and I'm gonna be playing for the San Francisco 49ers every year. You know what, everybody? Cause eat Arby's. That's why I'm gonna go with the Bucks. And we're gonna get reminded, Spence and Aiden, you're gonna be reminded to just eat Arby's.
Oh, better than eating Applebee's.
True.
For my second game, I'm also going to take the 49ers because, fair warning, I am a bit biased because Brock Purdy is an Iowa State product. And as my father went to Iowa State, I gotta love those Iowa State products. I loved him, watching him when he was a Cyclone. I loved seeing how much success he brought to this team. I just thought he was an amazing quarterback, and I think he's gonna do even better in the NFL. So far, he already looks like Lamar Jackson, which, I thought if he was going to be another Kirk Cousins, that would be an amazing upside, but so far he's even exceeded my expectations. So obviously I'm going to be taking my man Brock Purdy, Big Cock Brock, to beat the Buccaneers.
In terms of that game, yeah, I feel like this segment is basically just becoming, okay, predict the Buccaneers 49ers game, because that's honestly what I'm going with. I'm going 49ers, though, because I have trust in Brock Purdy. I will always trust a man whose first name is Brock, okay? I always trust a man whose first name is Brock.
Brock's
Hang on now.
Terrible gym leader. Who the heck uses rock-type Pokemon?
Counterpoint, Brock Turner, who is a rapist.
Why are we bringing this up?
Not all Brocks. Hashtag not all Brocks.
Hashtag not all Brocks.
Okay, Brock's in the sports... Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We all gonna be trusting that. And one thing I will give credit to Brock Purdy, he is a brand of chocolate up here in the north called Purdy's Chocolate. So you know what? Gotta trust in the chocolate brand. Like they make really good chocolate, like really fancy chocolate. They make good chocolate. Really succulent chocolate. I love chocolate. I like it.
Okay, anyways, yeah, so I looked it up, and yeah, I hope that piece of shit rocks in hell. So, but yeah, if your name is Brock Purdy, Brock Lesnar, or Brock Bowers, I will trust you. That's
what
just
about
the way
Brock the Pokemon trainer?
Okay, sure.
Or Brock Moxie.
Yeah, what about Brock Moxie? He doesn't even have a baby voice.
He doesn't even have a baby voice.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
Brock
fine.
Moxie. Okay, Noozer, last pick.
Okay, I'm gonna pick this mostly because you're a Seahawks fan. Seahawks are gonna smoke the Panthers easily. No ifs, ands, or
Yes!
buts. They're gonna smoke the Panthers. I
Yes,
mean,
we're
the
only
only
favored with
Yeah.
minus. We're only favored by 4, but I totally get it. We're gonna win by 1 score. Let's go!
don't sell for one score, man. You guys are gonna win by 2. No, 3 scores. I mean, like the Panthers have been the have been like a complete mess in recent history. So you know what? You guys should just go and run up the score. Go for it.
Bro, let Geno Smith.
Yes, but this is
Leave
the
in Geno.
Seahawks. Everything is always done in heart attack fashion. Because this is the Pacific Northwest. And we do things the hard way.
Sounds like the land of 10,000 lakes to me.
Yeah, that's right. It's more lakes than you have. Suck it. That's right. 10,000 lakes, that's right. How come you don't have 10,000 lakes? That's right. We have 10,000 lakes. Where's your 10,000 lakes?
Minnesota has 10,000 lakes. They're
Oh,
literally called the land of 10,000 lakes, dude.
oh. Ooh. I didn't know that. Ooh.
I believe that's called a bra moment.
Why do you think the Lakers exist?
It does exist for a very damn good reason. All right, now time to the main topic of the stream.
The welcome
Usually,
mat?
the welcome mat will be usually done. First things first, to kind of introduce to ease viewers into the stream, but we gotta push it back because this the FIFA has been, without a doubt, in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. You know, it's lost its luster. I feel it's so much less about the sport itself and more about, what is Qatar going to do next that is just going to just baffle everybody and get everybody and get not only everybody riled up and bickering online over something that we should all be uniting against. Because, here, the in the great Northwest, with the Western philosophy, we are open to things such as members of the LGBTQ community. We are open to freedom of speech, freedom of expression. We are able to openly protest our government. We are able to, have the same rights as the other gender. That is such luxuries that we have in North America and as well most parts of Europe. But what Qatar has recently done, allegedly, right now, is they recently, a reporter by the name of, was it John Conn? Was it? Who was it? I have to look at, I have to Google search it.
Grant Wall.
Grant Wall, yeah.
Grant Wall.
Grant Wall.
He was denied entry to the USA Wales game because he was wearing a rainbow shirt. Now, to my limited knowledge about the Quran, the Muslim Holy Bible, and the Christian Bible, I do know that the both paths separate somewhere between Genesis, but we are remembered that, of course, with us, that the rainbow is meant for God's promise to never flood the earth ever again. I don't know why they can't see it something as that, but today it is the symbol of same-sex marriages, transgendered individuals, and anybody else who is non-binary, etc., etc., etc. Denying him entry, I have to disagree with. You're hosting the World Cup. You've invited the world to your country. So be a good host. I can understand that homosexuality is outlawed in that country, and people who are convicted serve up to 8 years in prison. But for just the next month, let it slide. You're hosting the world in one of the most prestigious and honorable events. And the fact that it makes it much worse that the fact that, he's no longer with this respected journalist is no longer with us. And if you got into details about this guy is a remarkable journalist. He called out against culture gets about Sports Illustrated. He's fought against tyranny in the world of sport with organizations and media. It's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to go against that, especially when a journalist. I bet that he probably wasn't the only one to receive death threats from the Qatar government. It's the fact that has ever came out is it's barbaric. It is flat out barbaric that an American citizen was allegedly killed by the government through poison. Was it? He was perfectly fine. Are they alleging poisoned, or what are they? What's the allegation right now? I
don't know.
Because he wore the rainbow shirt for his brother, who he claimed he is gay, and it's bone chilling hearing him he feels horrible. He absolutely feels horrible. The fact that there's alleged foul play it's such a huge black eye with this. The fact that there are several clubs that had to change their uniform because they were showing the rainbow on their uniforms, forcing it out. It's, again, you're hosting the world. Be a good host and let it slide. It is, and even that feels like such small potatoes to the other stuff that they did. The stadium not only was being built by slave labor, or they like to describe foreign workers in which we can pay very little to. I hope they're at least making then the global poverty wage, which is $1 a day. They were working in slave-like conditions in a sweltering Qatarian sun. 9,000 people died building the stadium in which this event is being played. FIFA has not gone out of their way to say, you know what, this is not a good, we're completely against this. They haven't, not even said, you know what, that was a bad thing. Bad Qatar. No, bad. FIFA hasn't said anything. And it is well known that this has happened. I bet you there's political cartoons out there of a grave on top of a soccer pitch where the winning team is hoisting the World Cup. The fact that there's so many people died building this stadium. And I'm very aware of, Canadian history where the CN railway, the main use of how goods are transported between East Canada and West Canada was also built with slave labor. Every mile of railroad track that was built on the CN railway was one dead Chinese worker. And that when I just hear that, I feel like, the world has to be so much better than this. We have to be much better than we already are. But here, I can understand, here it's happening again. Not only that, banning alcohol sales in a sporting event, to me, is just insane. It is one of the worst things, because one of the biggest experiences that you can have at a sporting event is some alcohol. I feel, alcohol loosens people up. They're much more rowdier. If you watch any soccer games in Europe, the crowd is electric. We think football fans are like, you go to the Kansas City Chiefs or the Seahawks stadiums, they're loud. There's something different about the sport of soccer that gets the crowd chanting and singing, united the whole way through from start to finish. The fact that was not even there, and it was agreed. They agreed to sell alcohol, but at the last minute, the royal family's like, "No, you're not serving alcohol anymore." No, but you agree? Yeah, we don't care. It's again. There should have been red flags earlier. The fact that Step Blatter says that choosing Qatar was a mistake. A mistake. He's one of the former chairmen. He said that it was a mistake. The fact that also on top of that, Qatar didn't want to show beer sponsors at the World Cup. A mistake. The fact that this Qatar tried to bribe Ecuadorian players to lose the opener. They tried. The fact that they bribed them. But right now there's currently no evidence that supports it. But if it is true, again, those are allegations, even though they did lose. Not to mention, as a host nation, they only scored 1 goal and went 0 for 3. I expected after they lost the third game, I was totally expecting Qatar to go, yeah, we're out of the tournament. You all can go home now. I was banking on that. If there was a bet that said, hey, what's the over under on Qatar taking their ball and going home? I would have totally put money on Qatar saying, you guys can go home. We're out of the tournament. There's no reason for you to be here anymore. To kick FIFA out of their own country when they completely lost out. In fact, it's also a shame that they were the first team gone. But that's, again, small stuff. On top of the racial shit that they were doing. What was it? No Jewish food was to be served at the stadium, which was it kosher foods, I believe? No kosher foods was to be served at the stadium. The food that they did serve was expired garbage. It's mind-blowing. The areas the players were staying at was resembling the Fire Festival. Because, yes, that's what we want to see. No. It can't be hotels at the MIM. No. It has to be Fire Festival style camps. Come on. Come on, man. You're hosting the World Cup. And you can't even provide the minimum of a hotel stay for 16 football clubs. You can't. It's insane And it then finally the soccer was playing, and things start to quiet down a little bit. We see football clubs protest against the Qatarian government, which is, again, hats off to them. Huge hats off, because yes, you're making a complete ass of yourself in front of the world stage. The bullshit keeps coming. They said that North Korea could host the World Cup! What? North Korea hosting the World Cup is an insult to the world. First of all, it's a country that's impossible for ordinary citizens around the world to get into. Nobody can get into North Korea. There is a huge, major screening process to get into North Korea. A massive screening process. All right, and inviting the whole world with as prevalent as social media is would never, ever, ever happen. They had the greatest excuse too. The easiest no in their life. They could have easily said, you know what? Right? They could have easily said, we don't know if over 50% of citizens in North Korea are fully vaccinated. We don't feel comfortable of sending the whole world to that country because we don't know if they're vaccinated from COVID-19 or not. That's it. It's such an the easiest excuse that you could have to not go to North Korea. Easy. It's the easiest excuse. I really hope that FIFA takes a learning. They learn from all their mistakes. Because at what point do we see top countries just withdrawing from the FIFA tournament itself? It is the one sport that I feel unites the whole world. I watch soccer the least. It's the least I watch out of any sport. But gosh dang it. Is it the one sport that brings the whole world together? It's the one sport that everybody in this world can play. It's the one sport that I feel we get to see truly get played with the best of the best players around the world. The NFL, the football. I love football, but most of the best players are in the USA. The majority of NFL players were born in the United States. And that is probably about 90% of those. No other country would stand a chance. It would be the NFL All-Star team versus the world slaughtering everybody. Basketball. Most top players are in the USA. Sure, there's some little bit more diversity, but usually top NBA players, they don't go to the Olympics. They stay in the US. If the top athletes of the NBA were to all go to the Olympics, they would easily win that tournament without breaking a sweat. Easily. It would be a huge joke. Hockey is close, but it's mostly Canada, USA, and a portion of European countries. There's not many hockey programs around the world, and that's understandable. Hockey is probably one of the biggest commitments to commit, your kids into. I've heard stories of 5 a.m. wake-up calls for practices, for tournaments. I've heard all of it. Hockey is such a massive commitment. It's a popular sport. Surely it's very popular. Sure, there's some memorable games, but we haven't seen the World Hockey of Champions or even the Olympics done in a very, very long time. So, and baseball is kind of there, but, yet again, the best chance to get to see is the Olympics. That's usually during the middle of the MLB season. And most of the time, it is minor league players that are going there. So we don't get to see baseball at the Olympic level played at the highest level. We don't see that. So FIFA is the only sport that feels truly unites the world together in watching the best of the best players play at a very honorable tournament. It is an honor to host the FIFA World Cup. It's not a privilege, it's an honor to host it. And at some point, I have to question is when is it a privilege to host FIFA? Because I think FIFA, because of the disaster in Qatar and all the backlash, they might just pick the safest places where they will get absolutely no backlash. Next year, it's in North America. I can't think of a safer place. All the stadiums are already built. I believe it was recently announced that A&T Stadium is going through a $275 million renovation to be FIFA ready. There are amazing stadiums in North America. There's a couple in Canada that has been renovated. There's the one for the Saskatoon Roughriders. Their stadium has been renovated. I try and remember the tip of my tongue if other stadiums have been renovated, but Canada's got some FIFA-ready stadiums. The US has got some FIFA-ready stadiums. It is the safest option to host the World Cup, and I hope FIFA considers just picking the easy nation. It's a tournament hosted once every 4 years. It's time we start hosting it with 7 nations to choose from. And they are as follows: Canada, the United States, the UK, Spain, France, Italy, and Germany. They all have pro-ready soccer stadiums. They are all opening and accepting of all cultures. For the most part. For like 50% of the citizens. For the most part. It is the easiest thing you have to do. You just take a percentage of ticket sales. You'll get your money. The tickets for BC Place, they're all sold out right now. It's all sold out. It was sold out the day that BC Place was going to host a few games. We don't know what teams are going to be here, but it's already sold out. It's sold out. So do the best thing, FIFA, and host it in in the nations that already have stadiums that are ready to go. Don't go to second, third world countries that have to use migrant workers to build fantastic stadiums to host this prestigious event. It's enough of this. It's time that we start holding FIFA accountable. It's time that we start holding the Olympics accountable. When we bring the world together, let's use stadiums and infrastructures that are already there. Let's not go to countries where they have to bend over backwards to build these facilities that they will only use once. Let's not do that anymore. Let's use these stadiums. Let's not abandon them after hosting the greatest athletic event of the world. Let's be smart going forward. That is my FIFA talk. Thank you for coming to my FIFA talk. Any comments?
I'm not sure if you could hear me, but I was clapping, because that was a great speech. Just wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, if I were to add some countries, that already have ready-made stadiums, just to add the diversity quotient, I'd probably also include Japan and Korea because they got a lot of soccer stadiums. Korea especially is crazy about soccer.
Right. I've completely forgot. Oh, I forgot. Absolutely. Japan, I'm a little 50-50 on South Korea. I'm a little bit uneasy because North Korea is right there. So I Not 100% sure on it, but Japan absolutely. Absolutely.
And add on to the fact that a potential Japan World Cup could make reference to Blue Lock or Captain Tsubasa. That could draw in the anime fans to watch the World Cup.
We need more hockey fans, but sure.
I mean,
Hey,
look,
speaking of hockey, Leafs win 5-4 overtime against the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, if Mitch Marner keeps scoring points, he's gonna be in my next sicko of the week.
okay, so I just want to add one more point to like you know what? I mean, honestly, I don't really have much to add to that topic because I mean I've already said it before, but also like the only thing I really even could have added was like basically you already touched on is the fact that no one should like FIFA avoid countries that are basically top tier in terms of being corrupt as hell. Also they should countries that should really just have their stadiums already in place and won't have to pull a Brazil and end up shooting themselves in the foot um just to host a massive event. And yes, I know that Brazil screwed themselves more by not only doing FIFA but also the Olympics in a span of 2 years. But still, like I feel like you should go to like countries that are already just ready to go with stadiums and infrastructure that support an event as massive as the World Cup.
Well said. Anything else from
Yeah, what the fuck is a kilometer? USA, baby!
da da
Woo!
da 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 da.
USA.
USA,
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 USA, USA.
America, baby.
USA,
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 USA.
USA.
I love how completely off sync it was.
Yeah. We haven't learned anything from the last time we did it.
Nope. We never ever will.
By the
Never.
way, I just want to touch up on some big baseball news. Kodai Senga has officially signed with the New York Mets.
Damn.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Mets.
Yes.
Whoa! He played for the Rockies? Oh no, he's a Japan phenom, right?
The Japan phenom, yes.
Oh, that should be good. I know the Mariners were in on him too. Dang.
Hot take, I think the Mets are soon going to be the best New York team.
Literally, like, I'm gonna be real. Steve Cohen is quickly becoming the most like obvious win now owner since certain New York sports owner named George.
Oh,
I mean,
you mean that
I
guy
feel
from the jungle?
that especially in the world of baseball, there's no salary cap whatsoever. None. There's just a luxury tax, which if your stadium is a sold out crowd and can charge a hefty price for them, not to mention the total home games that they play is a wonderful 81. You can spend billions of dollars on a franchise. It's what the LA Dodgers do every year, and Dodgers Park is always full. Always full.
Bottom line, if you're a big market team in baseball, act like it. Quote unquote, this is pointed to you, the San Francisco Giants. Act like a big market team.
Mariners too, but I understand with what Seattle is doing. They're in the top 10 for payrolls, which is good, but a lot of Mariners fans are not happy right now. And I get our GM's current logic. We still have Cal Raleigh and Ty France and potentially Kelnick and Taylor Trammell to give pretty significant extensions. And Logan Gilbert! Don't forget Logan Gilbert too. So there's some big money that's going to be coming their way in the near future, and I think they're preparing for that.
Brewers, you're trying your best.
Hey,
Just
they got
don't
Abraham
fuck it up,
Toro
okay?
and Jesse Winky. Good luck with those two.
Yeah, Winky, baby.
I mean, I think Jesse Winkler will do better. He was super unlucky all year long. There's a lot of his deep shots were almost like super close home runs. I think if it's a different ballpark and a higher climate, I think he'll be okay. He'll be just
I'm gonna
fine.
say this. We'll say this. Y'all aren't complaining as much right now as Red Sox and White Sox fans are right now.
The
Can I
Red
say-
Sox have blown it the fuck up. And the fact that they're not going after their big
nobody likes
guys
socks for
anymore,
Christmas.
the Red Sox ownership, they just don't want to spend money right now.
But wait, I just want to say, you know how Aiden made the point about how the Giants should be acting like a big market team? Yeah, Red Sox should take that same advice because they are not even coming close to acting like a big market team when they're in Boston.
Exactly.
Fucking Boston.
Boston is if there's any team, if there's one team, they're probably the third most recognized team in terms of baseball. It's the Red Sox. I think it's the Yankees, the Dodgers, and then I give it to probably the Red Sox or the Astros.
I
Easily.
think the Cubs should be top 3. Honestly, Cubs could also be debated for that, given
True. They are a historic franchise that finally did it after 116 years.
108.
108.
If I may offer another team that should be up there, the Detroit Tigers, if only for that ubiquitous D hat. Literally everybody in this state knows
You're
that
from
goddamn D hat.
Michigan, because you're in
Michigan.
Michigan, man. Hey, I didn't even.
Michigan.
The Blue Jays are more rooted for in BC than the Seattle Mariners, and I didn't have them in the top 3.
I'm biased. I'm going to say Giants, but let's be honest. The Giants aren't even the most popular sports team in their own metropolitan area. They're way behind the Niners and the Warriors over here. So how can you expect them to be considered a top team in baseball in terms of following?
Well, they
And as
have
for the A's, good luck.
if anything, like the Giants, they have prestige. They've had historical players play on that team. I mean, the only downside is I think people are more attracted to Moneyball, which would be the current downside. Is that losing to Moneyball? You know, there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
But right now, the Athletics, with the owner just being completely cheaped out, and what's being reported as
On their way to Vegas.
from
Really?
likely to inevitable. It is inevitable, and then they're just going to start spending again when they go to
To the
Vegas.
surprise of nobody. To the surprise of nobody.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Athletics, they do need a ballpark. Like the Oakland Coliseum. Oh boy.
We already know about how bad it is, but yeah, it's process of like trying to get the new stadium has definitely be handled better. Let's be real.
It could have been. Like the fact that there's probably only like the attendance numbers are like in the low thousands. And for a stadium that is holding 50,000 people. Like when I was watching the Mariners games, I could hear the announcer. That's how quiet it was. It was so quiet that you heard the announcer's PA in the broadcast. Where most stadiums, you have the announcers usually drowned out with the audience chatter. But
Yeah.
the fact that this is probably the first stadium that I've ever heard that I heard the actual announcer audio through it was, yeah, kind of sad.
I mean, look, like if they go to Vegas, like, okay, I understand why they're moving here. It's also like it's side of I understand why they're doing this, but I also can see like, yeah, they really botched a lot of shit while leaving out of Oakland, and while a lot of that, some of that was like, yeah, it was inevitable. You can also say, yeah, a lot of that was also done for intentional reasons.
All I can say is this: John Fisher, owner of the Oakland A's. If you ever move the A's from Oakland, don't ever step foot in the Bay Area ever again. You're a persona non grata.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Agreed. Agreed. It's the fact that Oakland has lost a football team, the basketball team moved away from the city. Right? Right? Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, the basketball team moved, but they moved within the same metropolitan area. Different
Yeah.
city, but same area.
Okay.
Yeah.
They've lost a football team. They've lost a baseball team. A hockey
Just
team,
like
a hockey franchise will never ever be considered for Oakland. So I consider San Jose Sharks more the San Francisco Sharks. You know, um, I get that the county probably has a bunch of other issues than building some owner a glorified stadium. It still leaves a very bad taste. I feel very bad for Oakland fans that their sports franchises is completely abandoned the city. It's terrible. It
Honestly, even
is terrible.
honestly, even comparing Oakland to the rest of the Bay Area, it's kind of like the run to the litter. Like SF is obviously the most famous city. San Jose is Silicon Valley, and Oakland, what's it known for? Being dangerous, being the city that's next to SF,
basically
being
the
being
city.
host,
Oh, go on.
being bankrupt.
Yeah,
Like
basically the city
Oakland,
that's a mess.
yeah, basically Oakland is the if you consider the Bay Area as like siblings, the San Francisco is like the older brother, the pride of the family. San Jose is like the younger brother who's good with tech and all that. Oakland is unfortunately the often neglected middle child.
Hey, I'm the
So
middle
yeah,
child. What the heck?
Uh, so, weird question, but like, where does that put all the towns on like the San Pablo Bay, like El Sab or Richmond or?
well, because the thing is, the Bay Area, there's like three main cities. Obviously SF is the big city, and down south you got San Jose, and in the eastern side of the bay you got Oakland, and I think the other towns they're basically lumped in alongside those three cities by association. Obviously, yeah. So like say for example, Santa Clara is closely associated with like San Jose, and Daly City is associated with like SF, and like Richmond, Berkeley are associated closely with Oakland. We even have like names for like those areas, like the area near SF. Well, SF is the city, but the area like south of SF is called the Peninsula because it's the peninsula. It's the peninsula of the SF Bay Area. The area around San Jose is the South Bay, or alternatively Silicon Valley, and the area around Oakland is the East Bay. So that's basically how it is.
Right, because I mostly know my San Francisco geography from Primus songs
Nice, nice. That's based.
and bass.
Nice.
Hold on, Primus. Isn't that the band that sang the South Park theme song?
Yeah, they're from El Sobrante.
Based.
All right. Does anybody have to add for the MLB in this Bay Area?
Fear the Beard.
Actually, I have something. Yeah, you know what? This problem would have been, the A's would not have to deal with this had like a certain had some certain teams allowed the A's to have moved to sure San Jose like a decade earlier had that happened.
You know what the ironic part is? The A's used to be, the more stable team in the Bay Area. The Giants
Mhm.
almost moved to Tampa Bay.
Oh,
And the only reason the Giants stayed was because, they were sold to an owner who wanted to stay in the Bay Area, and they built their new stadium. So now the Giants are, the more well entrenched team, and winning 3 World Series counts. But
Mhm.
yeah, the A's ceded territorial rights to the Giants. They ceded San Jose to the Giants, just so the Giants wouldn't move to Tampa.
Yeah.
And ironically, the A's wound up being the loser of the deal because now the A's are in dire straits. No thanks to their cheap owner and their
Mhm.
stadium, which is the worst, not just in the Bay but in the entire United States.
Yeah.
And that says something. That says something too. Because,
That
like, there
says
are
something.
much, much worse. There are worse stadiums out there, but there's nothing as bad like Oakland Coliseum.
It really says something when you're worse than FedEx Field.
Yeah.
You know what's ironic? The Bay Area normally has pretty good stadiums. We all know how good, Oracle Park is. Chase Center
Yep.
is beautiful. I've been there. SAP Center is a great place to watch hockey. It's, nice and intimate. Um, Levi Stadium, at worst it's average, but I've been there a few times and it's a great place to watch games. It's not as
Yeah.
fancy as SoFi, but it's decent. And then you
Mhm.
have Oakland Coliseum, which is basically the if any of you guys watch My Hero Academia, Oakland Coliseum is basically Mineta.
I got turned off of My Hero Academia because of somebody who will go unmentioned, stating that they based the main hero off of Donald Trump, Donald Trump's America, and how much Japan liked Donald Trump. So that's kind of turned me off of My Hero Academia because oof maron.
That took a turn.
That took a turn. If there's any really good anime that I recommend, it's Shinometa. Based as fuck.
I'm gonna go with the old standby and say Fooly Cooly.
No, it's Shinometa. The only answer is Shinometa. Based
I'm
AF.
I'm gonna go with something more modern. Right now, I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw
Shinometa.
Man.
Based AF. I love that answer, Aiden. Really good answer. Shinometa is definitely based AF.
I really like that scene where Will Smith said, "So that's it then, huh? We some kind of Shinometa."
No, I thought Chris
Yeah,
Rock would have just slapped me and said, "Keep your mom's name out your fucking mouth." Do you know the crazy? Okay, did y'all see what happened at the Game Awards?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, Bill
heard about it.
Clinton. Bill Clinton.
I like to nominate my Bill Clinton, my Orthodox priest Rabbi Bill Clinton. I love how awkward that is, and now everybody's just laughing their asses off because that was his timing was bad, but the fact that the internet has had like at least more than 24 hours to reflect upon it, yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of
It is
funny.
funny.
I feel
Even though
bad for the the team at that worked very hard on Elden Ring. But what that kid did, like how he did it, like he literally was able to sneak and blend in. He literally snuck in and he snuck and blended in on the stage with them. Looked at the cameras and security. I want to know what the security detail was like. It was like, hey, yo, there's this kid that doesn't really look like he's here. And then, it doesn't take like 2 seconds to just review footage, just to quickly just pull him aside afterwards. No. He actually said, I'd like to nominate
bro.
Bill Clinton, Orthodox priest Rabbi Bill Clinton.
Also, seeing like the meeting, just the security meeting afterwards, just security talking to themselves like, "How the hell did we let this happen?"
I know. I don't want to go like full like what happened, but what seriously did happen? The fact that no
It's
one
like-
was
it's
able to verify this kid. I mean, not to mention like Chris Rock started at the Emmys, unleashed all of this.
The
All
Oscars.
of this. Which, I wonder when we see award ceremonies, I wonder what's going to happen from now on. Because now the Game Awards is going to be like, well, crap, we can't we can't do what we normally do because, some little prankster is gonna come up there and completely ruin and steal the thunder of a bunch of people who worked really hard on it. And even I think we're gonna start seeing a huge shift away from traditional presentations on how award ceremonies are being presented because of what The Rock did.
I can just
Chris
think.
Rock.
I can just think of like the security guard just saying to themselves, "It's like he was who we thought he was, and we let him get away with it."
That reminds me. This podcast brought to you by Bill Clinton.
Shut up. This is brought to you by Orthodox Rabbi Priest Bill Clinton. We're never
Podcast.
gonna have a truly phenomenal moment. A memeable moment. I know the Game Awards are kind of a giant meme, but I don't think we're ever gonna get something like this ever again in a very, very long time. I think it's gonna be a while, but who knows? More people are getting creative every single day, so just to remember, if you don't like your comedian, you can always walk up and slap him. No one's gonna stop you.
Hey, here's the thing. Here's the thing I've learned with Zoomers. Zoomers are very smart. They are very creative. They just do it with the most random topics imaginable. That's how they are. And if they see something they want to do, they will sure as hell make a good attempt at making it happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm just
You
happy
should know, you're a
that
Zoom.
fucking Genshin
No,
Impact
I
or
am.
Sonic Frontiers didn't win Game of the Year. It won like what Genshin Impact won like Player's Choice, was it?
Because Genshin and Sonic fans were fighting over it. They were literally just getting into a freaking war over it. Over a literal Mickey Mouse trophy.
That is the most definable. But that's like the most internet thing to fight over, which is like, what's the funnier Player's Choice Award? Genshin Impact or the fact that the Sonic video game was halfway decent?
Like, look at these bozos just fighting over the most Mickey Mouse trophy imaginable. It's just funny as hell to watch. It's just look at all these freaking bozos.
I think it could be nice just to give it to like the runner-up, which would have been God of War Ragnarok. But I heard God of War Ragnarok basically won everything.
I basically won everything outside what Elden Ring won.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Splatoon 3 won Best Multiplayer Game. Okay. Sure. I bet
Yeah.
people love map rotations.
Yeah.
I'm sure they absolutely. That's why. I played like a lot of Splatoon 1, but I can't bring myself to play modern Splatoon again. I need to play more than 2 maps for 2 hours straight. Like, come on. That's my biggest knock at it. There's too many events that are just such a limited time, where it's just other than just available all the time. You know, that's just me. That's just my preference.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay all that much attention um to the game awards because I was kind of busy with watching that Thursday night game between the Rams and the Raiders.
Oh, that was a good game. That was a good game. It was a good thing for Baker to do. I am very proud of what Baker did.
That's
Very
why I gave
proud.
him the Sicko of the Week award.
That's why he's could be the sicko of the week. Could be. Could be. We got really good nominees. But with the last thing we're gonna do, we're all gonna send a memo letter to anybody in the world of sports. Send them. I'm gonna send them a nice little memo. Could be a savage memo. Could be comedy. Could be serious. Could not be serious. So memo to the let's see. Who do I want to memo to? Memo to the Toronto Maple Leafs. As much as amazing it is for Mitch Marner to continue his incredible point streak at 22 games, super proud of him. But please, for the love of God, make it past the first round of the playoffs. That's
Yeah.
my memo.
All right, here's my memo. Here's my memo to the recently victorious Golden State Warriors. Y'all own the Celtics like you did in the finals. Please have more games like that. Because, I'm confident you guys are doing well, but, just please win more games just so that the negative fans can STF you. Bring the positivity back to the Bay. Because I know we got this. Dub Nation. Hashtag.
All right, Nickman, who would your memo be to?
All right, my memo. Dear, sending this memo to the Chicago Bulls. Thank you for crushing your competition tonight. I know that the Mavs were without Luka, but you know what? Beating them by 29 and having 7 guys in double digits, great to see. It's awesome to see. I hope we see more of it because I'd much rather see that than having to watch an 11 and 14 basketball team frustrate me every night. But hey, you won back to back. So, you know what? Just keep on winning. Please keep on winning so us Chicago sports fans have something to grasp at.
Firmly grasp it in your hand. Firmly. All right, Spencer. Who's your memo? Who's your memo
Alright.
to?
This one is to the Minnesota Vikings. You've done a great job this season, and I know there's been a lot of adversity coming at you, whether that's through being punched in the mouth, having to come back from several deficits, including a game where you had to come back from 2 10-point deficits in one game, and you also had to lose a lot of players. So the fact that you're 10-2 kind of blows my mind. The fact that we could possibly see you win out is even more mind blowing. And basically, I just wanted to say how proud I am of you and just keep up the energy. I love the energy with O'Connell. Just you're doing a great job, kiddo.
All right, well said. Well, that's gonna do it for the first episode of the Sickos cast. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment. Follow everybody on our social medias. Subscribe to this channel. We'll be back next Saturday. But before we end it off, we need to
we need
to spin the wheel for who has the opening segment next week. So who has the welcome mat this upcoming next week? And as for the other two, you're going to be given a we're going to get hopefully as 50-50 of a question. It is one's going to say X, the other's going to say Y. You're going to have a nice debate, and it's going to be up to you to decide who has the better argument. So are you ready, fellas? All right, who has the opening? Who's ready for the opening?
Wheel.
Ooh. Spencer, you have the opening segment next week.
I get the rant.
You get the rant. Ooh, you get the opening. You get the welcome mat. You get the welcome mat. It is all up to you. And as for Aiden and Nickman, you two get to have the debate. What's the most 50-50 question I could ask for? This is a tough one.
Ooh, something related to hockey because they're both in the Pacific League.
They are. But my question, here's my question.
Sparks.
Is this the year the NFL picks a non-quarterback to be the MVP? Yes or no? Who wants yes and who wants no?
I'm gonna go with no. Safer option.
Forgot this.
Nickman, did you want to say no too?
I was gonna do no too, but I just
all right,
forgot to
coin flip,
decide
coin toss. All right, I'm gonna flip. We're gonna go. Since Aiden, since the San Jose Sharks are heads, I'm gonna go with Aiden heads, and then Nickman will have tails. Whoever wins gets the no. Flip. Okay, Aiden, you get the no. Nickman, you get yes. Good luck, gentlemen,
Right.
on your on this debate. You will have 3 minutes to make your opening case. You will each get 3 minutes on the dot. 3 minutes, and then you'll get to rebuttal each other for 3 minutes, and then it'll be up to the audience or up to the jury, whoever the jury will be. I don't know, I'll probably be the jury. I'll be the jury and the judge. Be up to either me or the audience to decide who had the best argument. And the idea for this is everybody has to come in with no idea of what the MVP is. No idea. They have no idea that the quarterback has won it for the past many years. It has to be based on the argument. Who had the better argument? So I wish you gentlemen good luck. And Spencer, do you have a preview of what topic you will be talking about in your welcome mat?
All right. I'll give a little bit of a preview.
Secret? Is that going to be a secret?
You know, why do we use the car so much in this country, you know?
Shut up.
That's right.
Yes.
Your boy's gonna be ranting about freeways.
Yes.
Yeah! Wait, what? How is that sports related? How is it sports related? It has to be sports related.
Oh, it does?
Yes, it has to be sports related. It has to be a noun. It has to be about a noun regarding the sports and the sporting world. A noun. And since FIFA is a noun, I went with FIFA.
I will actually be going to talking about
Minnesota Vikings.
actually the success of the Minnesota pull tab, which re- hear me out, relates to football because exciting news: the Viking Stadium is paid off 20 years ahead of it schedule.
That's good. So we're gonna hear about how everyone's gonna be underestimating the Vikings. I'm gonna be guessing. Is that what I'm
No,
guessing?
seriously, this is a no.
Yeah, I
Seriously,
know.
this is
I
going
the
to be
stadium being
about.
paid off 20 years ahead is fantastic.
Yeah, this is going to be a deep dive into the Minnesota lottery.
Ooh, okay, cool. I can't wait to hear it, and I can't wait to be next Saturday. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. And until next Saturday, we will see you next time. Peace.